$1,000 going to first place, the biggest chunk of our 25K grand prize pool here. As we take a look at the trophy, that is also something awesome that everyone is going to be fighting for here. PAX Arena doing it right. As we get a look at the guns to kick things off, it's going to be relics on the Ghost, just 2 Ghosts, as it's a lot of classics and armor coming out of your attackers.
Okay. You see this mid-pressure Sinatra already getting things started with a bang. Contact made towards short as well. Dapper knows what's up, but commits to the second. Tens trades it, and suddenly this A-hit looks a little bit more scary. They could definitely get the spike down. I want to see what that Omen does. Maybe trying to hold the back flank for now, but kind of irrelevant to how this round plays out. They kind of need to speed up here and support the rest of their team. As this retake, it's got bodies to it.
And does Sinatra have any more curveballs, or did he use them both to break his way out of Garage? That's going to be the question for me on the retake. Tens is going to punish stick through the smoke, and Shazam will answer back on Rogues, who's holding down long A. So it's just 2 players on the site. Tens about to have his hands full, trying to do work with the classic, and now he's got help. Mitch is going to go down, so it's only Tens, and finally they will be outgunned. Shazam going to pick up that defuse, and he is going to be working his way towards an ultimate early in this one.
That was really quite a nice little retake off the back, but I love this mid-aggression. Very well handled in the end. It's crazy seeing so much variety on someone like Sinatra, that kind of switch onto the Frenzy, onto, Phoenix, and showing some real versatility there. But Sentinels with the first is a good beginning, but it wasn't a bad first round either for Cloud9. It was quite close getting towards those post plants, so not too bad.
Let's see what they can do. Sheriff on Tens is going to be the player to watch for me. Shinobi also could do a lot of work getting the information for his Key Slayer. At the start, they're going to make some noise over at A, then look for the push from Sinatra through mid. Tens, you can see just holding at head height. Is Sinatra going to peek again? And this is just going to be a slow round, I feel like. At this point, you're just trying to punish the guns that you've seen every single time. When the Sentinels win their gun round, the pistol round, they're always investing at least a Bulldog, sometimes a Phantom, as we saw Sick in the previous round. Shazam, giving up his position. He's been called out, but he's got Mitch pinned to the right of that window.
Yeah, he's being aware that he's going to get swung on. 4-play face towards mid-window. I love that. Well, from mid-window to kind of be spike side. I think that's great. I think that's a really nice way to utilize those pistols. You kind of want to take those superior number fights to try and capitalize on, well, sadly, any small advantage you can get, because obviously the opponents are on a substantially better buy, but Tens, always a threat. So crossfire in middle might be undone if they're not careful.
Big wall going up. Is there a hole? Nope, it's going to be clean. As I say it, it's actually Dapper who's going to rotate around and get the triple there. The Spectre is clean, but Tens still alive. He took that early damage. He's surviving, spike in hand, and he's got his Cypher to work with. So the 2 are going to make their way over to the C site as it's Zombs, last man standing. Remember, this was guns versus pistols. And again, it is Cloud9 with the man advantage. Final 10 seconds. Spike is planted. Will we see the 1v2 clutch from Zombs this time around?
I actually loved everything that Cloud9 just did. I talked about their creativity on the attacking side. You're seeing it now. Zombs has to play this. He does have good armor, but, well, you've got Tens with good aim, so that does become a bit of a problem. Yeah, there it is. Tens with 3, but the theory was right. That 4-play face towards middle was just so perfect to punish those peaks from Shazam. They then play up towards B, put up the wall to isolate that crossfire so they could overwhelm the isolated player, and they don't overcommit to it. They take their time with that as well. They peel towards C to get the spike down safely, and again, keep those pistols in areas where they can succeed. This is going to be a bit of a warning signal to the Sentinels that, hey, these guys have got plans on this attacking side.
And now it's the defenders who are going to be outgunned. Zombs is going to go with the Frenzy as well as a half armor, and a Ghost on 6. So these are going to be the key players over on the C site, looking to do the damage. Sinatra also holding a Frenzy to follow up his curveballs if they decide to push him. But they have heavily stacked over at CB, Lauren, and it's only going to be Dapper running into the whole C9 squad in just a moment.
Dapper, how much time can be bought? He's actually pushing this one. You can spot it. Oh, he's been spotted. Just that shoulder peek from Mitch. He sees him, and that's more than enough. and suddenly the C stack just feels almost silly if you're on the other side to it, but maybe they could still get something out of it. The Relics is still showing a little here. He's keeping utility building. He's going to keep them dedicated towards this, but let's watch where that spike goes. They still seem a little hesitant. They're trying to take their time, and oh, are they going right back into this stack here, Puckett?
Okay. They've bust through smokes in the past, with Tens leading the charge. Will Relics set them up for it? You take a look, everyone is stacking up C long. This could be a hugely punished. Good paranoia, but it's going to be sick. Holding strong on the back of the site. Kills score back, left, and right. It's just Shazam left now in the 1 versus 2. Mitch. Will he be able to get the pick? Shazam with some nice jump peeks is continuing to do the damage, and that spike is still not planted, but the res comes in, and Vice holds strong. Pretty solid defense, though. They went with the gamble stack at C. They eventually get the pressure there, and they took off 3 guns.
That's beautiful. Nice. Let's talk about silver linings for Sentinels here. Obviously, good deals of damage, but they forced the res early out of Mitch. Now, that's obviously because you're respecting your opponent. You got to take it seriously. You can't let that round go to waste, but that was nice. That was a nice bit of play from Shazam, but obviously a better round from Cloud9, even though it got a little bit dangerous. Double ops out on the defensive side. Now, I want to see if we see the kind of set piece that I've known them for. We should start watching the Sova and the Cypher for Cloud9 and the way they use utility. It's an impressive piece, but look at Phoenix, look at Sinatra. He's just pushed straight up middle, and no one's seen it.
And Shazam walks out the front door with everyone worrying about what's going down over at the B mid. It's Shazam peeking from the door and taking down 10. So Operator is down. And remember, this is a double op setup on defense for the Sentinels. Relics sees the wall up at C. Going to be backing up, rejoining the rest of the squad. Where is Cloud9 going with this spike? Still plenty of time. 1 minute 4 seconds on the clock. And they're just going to try and figure out the locations of these defenders.
That's the nice element of having that camera on A short. It means that you don't have to be worried about anyone pushing up, so they're going to work this out. But how do you get past Dapper here with this op? That I don't know if they've got any utility to do it. A little bit of a shoulder peek, a little bit of a jiggle peek, and it's done it. Mitch is there. He takes down Dapper, and suddenly the site's open.
It was Mitch with the jiggle. It was Mitch with the punish. Nice work here as they go in dry. And Mitch is going to wall up as the power position here for anyone trying to rotate through the defender's spawn. There's going to be 2 players up in heaven, but with the spike planted here, it is going to be so tough to get onto this site without taking damage. Zoms picked from the middle of the map. That was a lurking Relics, and that is a big one. With Relics now behind the defenders, they are so nervous. You can see they're just going to try and back away, potentially save these weapons.
Yeah, Relics is great on this map for his readjustment. You're seeing it here again. He is a little low on 11 HP, so maybe not wanting to lose out on that, but the chance to take away the op was probably more important to him. For me, I love what Relics does on this map just because he can be such a constant threat with those B pieces. If they do their full set execution towards A down the line for Cloud9, you're going to see a great deal of success off the back of what Relics can do as well. But that entry on the site was everything. Just getting that one pick towards the op, up towards heaven there, that opened up the site. It's going to force, a little bit more of the economy damage to be done towards the Sentinels. They're going to have to kind of keep in mind they're a little bit light on cash. They've got to be careful. They can fashion a nice purchase though. Double ops still out. But of course, on the other side, you got some money building up now. 5.5 with Vice. Mitch sitting on a decent chunk of cash too. But let's see if Shazam can show some presence. We saw that mid-aggression not work out that time for Sinatra.
And once Mitch gets rolling, I feel like the man was sitting on AK, all 8K, the entire match against Homeless. Shazam is going to get the first pick on 10s. And that's a big one. Aggressive peek from the Jet. And Shazam is going to punish it now. Knows there's going to be more mid-pressure and definitely knows the location of at least the Sova. Does he know there's more? So far, playing it safe. Remember, Shazam, no armor this round. He's a glass cannon. You hit him, you're going to chunk the man. Slow smokes going out, blocking off the window as they're starting to work their way down to C long. And this is going to be sick, holding it with Zoms once again.
Smokes down.
Zoms feeling out the pressure here. Puts the smoke down towards middle. Now, probably gonna be a little bit worried. They're up on the site. That was a beautiful blind coming out from the Omen. Spike gonna be planted, and suddenly this defensive side is pretty cut off. Now, they're going in individually. I'm a little worried they're not waiting on those rotations, but maybe feeling they can make it count while they can, while the players are close by, but it's not worked out. It's trading effectively for the attacking team.
3 attackers left. None of them playing tight on the spike. They've all dropped back. Forcing movement here out of Shazam, and he is going to get peeked by Vice as he is going to make it now just 1 player left. Dapper, can he work the miracle? I'd expect him to save the op, but they're going to be coming hunting for him. Here. Now he's been spotted by Relics. Will he loop around in time?
I think it's just about going to be okay. You're going to have Relics trying for it. He can tuck himself in the corner. He shouldn't repeat this. Don't repeat that. Yeah. Don't.
Just make
don't
noise.
Need to. Don't lose it.
Be scary. All right. Okay. So it's again these Relics paranoias. Every time they are pushing C, he's hitting the player on lumber. As soon as they get that pick, they're able to get the spike planted and then just fall back. Excellent execution by Cloud9 on the attack. I like what they're doing. And this could be way messier, but that second round, that's what set the tone. And now finally the Sentinels are broke outside of that operator. Will they buy up, or are they going to be saving here for round 6? It looks like let's just save a little bit, go with a very, very light buy.
An early stack on short A for the defensive team. You're going to see aggression kind of throughout here. They're trying to play in Dapper. They're trying to give him a little bit of room to play. And as much as they did remove some of those 50-50 angles before, there's still some that remain, so Dapper better be on point. Relics again proving his value in droves. This man's nuts so far in this game. His value is insurmountable. Does he check the corner? Of course he does, but he loses it. So now there's a chance, but it's a thin one, and it gets put to bed instantly. Ken's instantly on the aggress as well. Not going to slow down. Not going to hinder him for a second. Shazam outdone already.
Shazam only hit one of those blades, and he was expecting the kill. That's going to be costly. Sinatra investing his run it back as well. Out come the curveballs, but he's slowed down. Great Cypher play from Vice as he locks it up, keeps his teammate alive, and they will take the round 5-1.
And again, this is where I just want to... I can't hype him up enough today. Relics on this map is great. Now, it's only a 1-for-1 trade, but his ability to take away that op at the start was massive. And reading the aggressive play potential was great. They have a really good idea of how they like to see this map play out for Cloud9. I like what they're doing. So far, so good. We haven't seen a solid answer back yet for the Sentinels. They're okay, but they haven't got it working. And it looks like we could see a bit of fun over towards A long at the start, playing in Phoenix early. They aren't going to cross through towards short, but Sinatra is going to be close by this time.
Shinobi trying to get the information, and now Sinatra is making the noise. Saw the tip of the gun, and he's going to punish Vice. Able to get some help from Shazam just in time. The duo doing work at long, and Zombson's going to cut down 10. It's just the 2 attackers left, but Mitch, he's been on fire. There are 2 more for him.
My God, that was good. That flank just kept it safe. That just flying up short. They need to get the spike towards site, and they've done just that. Switching over to Mitch, and now suddenly Relics is on patrol. Gonna try and keep Sick humble. Might buy him some time on the rear. Just no! Overly confident that it was gonna work out to blind Sick, and he's had none of that. Gonna get them back, keep the economy strong, keep their players up. And again, time for the defuse to come in. It's recovery, but it was I'm gonna say it for what I feel it was, and maybe I'm wrong there. I think that was just a slight misplay off the back of the Omen there. That's all it was, and it's unfortunate, but Sick gets away with it. He gets 2 free kills. He's probably happy as hell with that.
10 kills already on Mitch. 10 sitting at 7 and 5 on the other side. It's been Shazam doing the early work. But a quiet game out of Sinatra so far, and I was actually really excited to see him on the Phoenix again, because last tournament I watched him, he was so good at rotating out of garage, getting aggressive through mid, rotating over to C and catching players off guard on the retakes. He has been slowed down, and that's a bit uncharacteristic of the young man. Let's see what he's going to do, though, as we have a triple stack down long. They go for the instant peek as Shazam is going to C10s in the air. Now, instant punish. The Resurrection is going to come out, but what a start here from Shazam. Great read.
Just got outplayed, didn't you, a little bit there? Now they have noted both players, so this is a bit worrying now. This commitment towards A-Long is pretty isolated. Tens is going to find Shazam. Sinatra's very much on his own. He's going to try and buy as much time as he can. He's trying to survive, and he's done so well to do just that. Takes down Tens from the grave, and this should allow time for rotations, but it's just Zoms here.
Just Zoms, and he doesn't use the maul. He didn't want to pull it out. Thought they could be coming up faster, and instead he is going to be found in the body. Great shots coming through by Shinobi. Now it's the retake. Can they pull off the 2v3? It's going to be Sick working with Dapper. Sick already pushed up as Dapper is distracting from Heaven, was able to find the first, and now actually is behind him at CT, it looks like. So both players trying to watch each other's back. Down goes Dapper. Sick is going to be found as well. Good crossfire from Vice and Mitch as they hold down the post plant. Sick reactions, though. Shazam just shows you he can still whip it.
It's the fact he knew that's what he was going to probably try and do. Just that prediction. Sinatra's value there on Long, considering they got spotted early on, tried to make the best of a bad spot. But I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a solid answer yet for some of these site hits coming out. The Sentinels don't seem to have a full grip on it. I would say this map is still pretty strong on the attacking side. I think that's pretty fair right now. But the way Cloud9's playing it is very good. They're getting, they're getting the spike down, they're getting everything they need working in the right direction. Defensive side aggression, though, is always going to be a big thing to watch for, and they're trying to exude some of that now, trying to get that early information to allow those rotations to get towards the right site.
Did Dapper see that cloud going out, the dark cover from Relics in the corner? With the orb being taken, being baited out, that paranoia hit them both. Great wall going up. That is going to save them, at least for now. Relics gets the high ground, though, and Sick is going to fall over to the other side of the wall. He's got support. Ten's trying to hit the crack shot. And a rare miss with the Jet ultimate, but Tens pulls out the big boy toy, and that sniper is going to be good. Already 2 defenders down, and this is going to be tough for the Sentinels. They're on the retake, but their positions have just been given up to the Cypher ultimate.
Nice site execution. You can see all the smokes up, trying to clear out the corners safely. Spike now planted. Let's look at those post plants, but look at that Sage. Look who's lurking towards B. That's going to be a big factor. It's going to keep these players busy, and it's Mitch this time towards Zoms. Beautifully handled. I love seeing a little bit of alert coming in, especially with favorable numbers. Why not try it? They can fall away now. They can try and catch anyone desperate to save, knowing that maybe with that Jet still up, you want to take away whatever gun Shazam has, and, well, he's going to keep hold of it for now, but it's worth it to try and do the damage. The economy, the defensive side, is looking pretty shattered here.
Shazam wins his. Vice is going to take down Sinatra, though. Only a stinger, so not the best weapon to try and save for the next round. As Shazam looks for exits, able to get his second of the round. Shinobi? Well, yeah, I was going to say it's actually Vice who's going to peek again. Relics, though, at the start, I mean, how impressive has he been? Lauren, you highlighted him earlier. I loved his paranoias. That was a second one. You're going to bait the orb? I'm going to punish you, he says. Shazam almost working his magic, but Vice making sure no guns, staying on board with the Sentinels. 7-2. This is a dominant attacking side.
And just in case people are kind of wondering, well, why did they try and feed to those guns? Was it worth it? Of course it's worth it. Look at the money difference. On, obviously, the attacking side, Cloud9, they can re-afford to buy pretty much all of these guns. They're fine. But if you take away the guns from the opposition, they can't really afford to reinvest into it. So they're going to be struggling for cash. But we are seeing how they're going to try and get around that. The little kind of Tens play around. It's not the only Jet to do it, but he's had good success with it. Is pop the ult on Jet. You basically get a free damn good gun. So, good ground gain from Shazam. Free info being garnered here. There is going to be the traps in the way, so got to be careful how he does it, but B's being taken as we speak. Yeah, Shazam's going to be on a nice flank, though, and if Tens is looking forward, he could be the first one to fall. Relics is on the other side of the wall. Zoms is actually going to hold true with the Goats as he gets the first pick on Mitch. That is going to delay the spike plant, and the spike is having to rotate out. Shazam on the flank doing huge damage as he finds his third, looking for a fourth. Shinobi able to answer back with one, but the damage was already done. Dapper cleans it up, and that is a huge eco round coming out of Sentinels. It was massive. The flank coming out from Shazam was great. The early info and obviously the reactionary play. This was nice. No trade. Vice turned as quick as he could, but by the time it was done, the damage was there. No one able to shut him down. Shazam able to isolate so many individual fights. And saving the ult for the right time. We saw Tens do it well, and now we've seen Shazam do it well. It's obviously a great addition to being Jet. You can kind of depend on that ultimate so much. And now I see a pretty even purchase, but 3-7 is a very commanding scoreline still for Cloud9, especially after that loss they suffered in the previous map. This is probably going to feel good for them. This has got to put them in a good position. Maybe get a little bit of that confidence back with them, because it's so far looking pretty nice.
I was expecting an 8-4, maybe even a 10-2. Sentinels now could finish with 5 rounds. Trying to hold true over on A. That's where the hit is coming, and it's Dapper working through the smoke, able to take out Vice and gets the info, spotted at least 2 players.
I want to see what the response is here, though, from the opposition, because they're going to try and lean towards A. That's the normal response, and that's where Cloud9's attacking hit can be great, because they kind of cut off half of B, and they split towards those back calls, you know, the connector between B and A, but at the moment, I don't think they're going to fall towards it, because they simply don't have everyone up that they'd need to be able to create that opportunity to happen. They've lost out on their Cypher, which can be very important. However, they are potentially feigning it. They put a smoke down towards B to keep the defensive side pretty much guessing, and this is a perfect read on the rotations. This heavy stack towards A from the defensive team is going to be completely countered by this great hit towards C. It does mean you're going to be instantly in a retake, and you've got to know that if you're on the defense. So they need to take this clean, and when they play these retakes, do not go one by one. Let's get those nice trades coming back in.
Maybe wondering why they took their time like that. Well, they were waiting on the second smoke there to recharge from relics. Paranoia goes out to make sure no one was at lumber, and now with garage blocked off, they really know, well, they only have one angle to break in on us. Tens is going to try and hold the door as everyone is rotating through the defender spawn. Sinatra leading the charge, caught with a curveball in hand, but he's traded out as Sick is able to pick up the kill. Now Shazam trying to work magic, but the Brimstone late smokes coming into play.
They're holding it. I'm pretty sure they're still on this one. Shazam's going to re-smoke it. Double dips on it. He's still going, and he's still got it. Nicely done from Shazam. Bros, just simply don't fake, Mitch. You got to know this now.
Zoms with the late round smoke gives him the opportunity, and then Shazam double smoking himself on the defuse is clean. I thought this was all Cloud9, but props to the retake coming out of the Sentinels. Back-to-back round wins, 7-4. So we're going into the final round of the first half.
It was a nice round, but this has been a really good approach so far from Cloud9. The last couple have tipped towards the Sentinel side, but it's not been a clean run. It's definitely not the team we saw before. Sinatra struggling to find that aggressive play that I really liked from him on that Phoenix. It will apply better on the attacking side, of course. But let's see what we have here. A little bit of a different look. This looks like more of their standard approach, that kind of play up towards short, but this double stack on long. Shazam tries to get the opener. Also going to play in the Cypher, who's sat just in that little cubby, so it's not a bad idea. For now, no harm, no foul. No losses here.
No one falling at the start. Silva using a little bit of utility, but that's about it. And of course, you have your camera set up at short A watching your flank. That's where they got punished last time. And Shazam was able to loop around through when they tried to go for the B plant. This time, Tens going up and above, but Zoms was playing way deep. Is going to use his ultimate, the orbital strike. Going to force everyone out, stops the plant attempt.
A spike. Oh, he just cancels it. Nice work from Sinatra to push in on that timing. Loses out to Vice in the end, but the spike now down is going to be on the attacking side to try and make it back up. But Vice is being just a real threat here in Shazam. Can you go big again? This time a little bit trickier, but with that spike being where it is, there's a chance for a bit of play here.
Great timing by Vice. As soon as Dapper goes to throw the ult, the peek comes in and makes this a 1v2. Operator inside a bubble on B site, pinched between two players. Good luck, Shazam. That's going to be the half. 8-4, Cloud9. They picked Haven. They're feeling confident on it. Their attacks have been pure. And an 8-4 half is exactly what they were looking for.
Man, that peak still. Mitch on that little jiggle peak towards heaven. So well done. So this is a really good half. But let's remember we had a good half on that first map, and it still became a really close game. We need to kind of keep in stock. Things do switch and change when we switch halves. But to me, this is a big win condition for the Cloud9 side. They had to bounce back, and they've done just that, which I really, really like for them. I'm glad to see them looking very competent. We had some great rounds from Shazam. Obviously, this is just... that's just cheeky, right? You love to see that. But overall, this is a really good sign for Cloud9. They needed this one. This is a nice kind of response of, hey, this is our map pick. We want to get that buffer.
Here we go. Big pistol round coming up. Will Cloud9 be able to take the early advantage again and hopefully seal a quick finish to game 2? Or is it Sentinels? We can totally flip the script and win 3 in a row off of some big plays. Sinatra has been pure with the frenzy and the pistol rounds. This time, though, a great paranoid comes in as it's Relics and Shinobi holding down C. Relics still surviving, finds another one on Zoms, and once again, it is now a 1v4 for the Sentinels. This time, it's Dapper.
Cloud9 knew what was up. They 100% got to have known what was up there. Not getting away with it this time. Ooh, even being checked on over towards the defensive side spawn. Dapper. Oh dearie me, it's all looking a bit rough, right? This is not the dream. This is not how you want to start the second half. Great beginning for Cloud9 though. I think Dapper knows his days are numbered. He can try and do what he can, but nice positioning, nice hold. It feels like they did their homework on that. How many times did we, go off about Sinatra on the frenzy, aggressive, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work that time. They were prepared, nice utility. Well held. Dapper trying to do damage. Got to try and do something, but the round might be a little bit too far away. As look where that spike is. They can just sit in this crossfire. They shouldn't let him get an individual 1v1. They don't. They're ready on the swing. Twice there to shut it down. And the perfect start in the second half for Cloud9 now.
Shinobi got it all started. I do want to give credit to the in-game leader because he was the Sova playing deep, peeking long C. While I gave a lot of credit to Relics, though, and I'll continue doing it, his blinds have been on point. Another great paranoia, catching Sinatra, who is the player rotating to do the heavy damage. Looking at the buy, Lauren, we got a little fun in the hands of Tens. You ready to see it? Can we get a judge camera?
I'll leave you to it. I'm going to turn my fan off because it's really loud. So you get this round. Enjoy.
I like that. All right. Tens wants to get aggro. If you've been watching him before, he can punish a full push or he can go hunting. And it may not be the round. You can go ahead, observers, and swap it over if you want. He's not going to see anybody early. Cameras are going up in mid, and I think that is a great sign that is going to be an all-in. Will the wall go up? Sick. Down to about 10 HP. The paranoia is going to find at least 2, and the Bulldog will find more. Relics doing the damage. 6 still alive in the middle for now. But he's got an Ares and 2 pistols looking his way. Everyone's going to fall for the Sentinels, and another big hold from Cloud9.
Clean. Okay. Okay, this is it. This is the map we expected to see. Now, imagine the veto went differently. Remember how the knife round worked, how it kind of influenced a couple of the other elements down the line?
Yep.
Now, imagine we had Ascent twice rather than Haven twice. Cloud9 did pretty good to get this.
Yes.
This is really good news for them. We'll probably come back to that, I'm sure. When Goldenboy and Gaskin come on, they will definitely be paying attention to how the map will sit later down the line in this best of 5. But for now, this is the big one. This has to be quite a statement piece coming back in from the Sentinels. They've got to make it count right about now, otherwise they are in trouble. And it looks like their approach is a somewhat standardized A-hit. Not too much pressure around the map otherwise. You've got Brim holding mid, but other than that, you've got a 2-2 split, and it's Tens with the Judge keeping really quite the keen eye towards short. They're all filtering up towards long, though, and no one's playing proactively at this point. When they feel that pressure, Tens could definitely become a big element here.
Cage triggered.
And here comes the push-up long. Cage is up at the perfect time. Tens is going to be flashed out of position, but comes running in. Will be found with a headshot as kills going back and forth. It's 2 down from each side. Spike still not planted. Shazam has it in hands as the Sentinels are going to be backing away. Shazam, half health. Long A controlled by Dapper. Operator on site. Again, tight angles from Shazam, but he thrives here.
He should try and stick to this angle. See if any utility throws him off. So far, so good. He can hold this. He can commit. You can see they're lining up, and here we go. First is good. Is there going to be a second peek from him? That's a bit bold. A little bit too bold for me. And oh, it suddenly opened up an avenue in which this retake is looking worse. But Dapper, oh, he's good for 1, but not the second. Mitch is there. And it's all gone terribly wrong for the Sentinels. An over-peek potentially from Shazam. Did you need to re-peek it? I don't think you should have done. You maybe had to bank on your teammates to help you out, because look what it's done. It's put Cloud9 just a couple of rounds away now from picking up map 2.
You know, I love seeing players with confidence just trying to make the most out of their plays, feeling his shot. Unfortunately, you're going up against Mitch. The man is 16-9. He has been one of the fiercest sages in this playoff bracket. If you watched him last night, he was absolutely on fire, especially with the weapon he's got now, the Operator. You go towards Mitch, expect to find one to the face down long C. We'll see what the Sentinels decide to do. They're investing in 2 Phantoms, got a Bulldog, and 2 Spectres. They're going to try and play this fast and at short range. Here comes Sinatra flying through.
They're having none of it. They've got him red every day of the week. He has had no success, and on the other side, the other player, his counterpart, his counterpiece is tens. And count to 3, the man's racking up the bodies. He wants to get to 12 rounds. He wants to look at the third map. He's thinking about bind already. He's a map ahead. This guy's having a great time, and these kills are paramount to the success of his team. Zoms may find Shinobi, but how the hell do they break in beyond that? I don't know.
Mitch, the top fragger, stacked up with tens, the most electric player in this matchup. Good luck, Mr. Brimstone. Meanwhile, though, Sick is easing in with his Bulldog, and he is going to make this now a 2 versus 3, a little bit more manageable, and he's going to try and get back to his Brimstone. Zoms for some heals, but Zoms, tucked away in that cubby, is in a very, very tough spot, especially with that operator looking down long.
Where do they take this? Let's look at the spike. Let's look who's got that spike. Let's have a look at Sage. It's Sick. Sick has to kind of be the commander of this play and how he wants to approach it. Them hitting the brakes causes the defensive team to be a little bit paranoid. They're going to go, okay, we still have to keep some presence on A. They could rotate, and it's pulled 2 players away. So it's on to Mitch on the other side, gets contact, falls away. I love this from Mitch. Very safe play.
He's going to get a res
try and
here.
make a one-man thing. He's going to fall away. He can now hold the angle, so they're locked on the site. Very smart from Mitch and safe, allowing time for these rotations. Jet's there now. Relics is there now. It's time to try and play this retake back in. They're doubling up towards CT. This is going to be a tough one to play back through, but that's the beginning. And tens. Is he going to do it all himself? No. Sick is still trying to hold on.
Sick has a resurrect if he's able to pull it off, but there's 2 players on the sites. He's just going to stick with his guns here. That's a third. Sick makes the 2v4. A round in favor of the Sentinels, finding 4 kills after the plant, and is going to get the op as well.
Unreal. Tens did so much for his team then, but that clutch at the end, that reposition around the site. That was some timing on that. He just about somehow evaded both of those players to get the nice little kind of piece at the end. But yeah, look at this. How he got over towards his side was great. And then predicting that little swing back in from the Omen, maybe hearing Relics was about to run around. Beautifully done. It's a lifeline. It's not much, though. It's still a long way back, and there's still so much danger because, you know, if Cloud9 just have one crazy round, you're in all kinds of trouble again. And speaking of it...
He has been so fun to watch. Every time he brings out the Blade Storm, the Jet Ultimate, devastating in his hands. Turns 1 kill into a flying second, but he won't be peaked quite yet. Meanwhile, just a shorty in the hands of Vice. And a little early noise, and they're just going to back this one out. See what the plan is here from Relics and crew. As the Omen is just holding his own in mid. Here comes the push. And that Paranoia is ready once again. Last time he connected with 3. As soon as contact is made, there he is. Spot Shazam. Times it.
Good
it's at
timing.
least Sinatra. But a peek is still clean from Sick. Lit up, but Shinobi can't punish with the Sheriff in time. Does massive damage, but not enough to finish.
So far, so good. Spike is down, though. So they've got to keep this clean. You don't want those threats to arise. We've said it before. These rounds are scary because you can lose out to those pistols, those, you know, lighter purchases, potentially. Nice work from Sinatra. There's a little bit of a threat here, but no, it's been handled.
Yeah, as soon as Tens goes down, I'm like, okay, you guys can breathe again. Let's take a look at how Sinatra got the job done. It was Sick running through the back, and then Sinatra with the Spectre up against the Sheriff. Able to just move a little too fast for Shinobi there. 16 at 13 is Shazam. He's got his sniper in hand. All assault rifles for the Sentinels. On the other side, what buys will come in? It's going to be a Phantom War.
Okay. It's got to be every round, though. I'm going to be honest. If Cloud9 were on 12, I'd just call it a straight-up GG anyway. I think that they can pull around that, you know what I mean? Just like one of those rounds where they just do Cloud9 things. But we do have Tens going aggressive again, but this time I think he might have been maybe seen by the camera. I'm not sure if he peeked around. They saw a leg, but they're going to use utility to clear him out. He's going to have to make his mind up here. He tries to stick it out, but no. Sinatra's success might spur on the hit, and suddenly A's looking vulnerable, and Vice might be nervous, and I don't blame him. Suddenly, here comes the attack. As utility goes up, though, they're trying to slow down this progression.
Ooh, and Shinobi almost hit 5 players with that one. They were all retreating through the tunnels as he aims just a little bit left, expecting them to continue pushing up short. Mitch still with his wall. Still with the revive. Could be used later in the round. No problem so far for the defenders, despite losing 10s early.
You will not kill my allies.
Res towards middle. They've got everyone back up now, so player advantage at least towards the Sentinels. But you do have Cypher working out. Okay, A is clear to my assumption. We got to kind of focus on where we just heard that res. It might be a safer bet to put Omen towards window room or the back of it. So Relics, being that Omen, going to sit around here, and here comes the hit. It's going to be towards C. Nice slow from Mitch. He's going to hinder their progress. And again, we're down to 20 seconds here, Puckett. This is going to be late in the day now.
Got to get onto this site. Got to get this plant down, or at least pick up all the kills. Mitch holding strong as Relics chimes in with 2 of his own. That is already 3 down. Make it 4, and once again, Dapper is going to fall for the second time as Relics picks up the 4K in the 12th round. Cloud9, a map point.
And look at that utility usage from Mitch. Buys so much time. The slow, the wall. Omen comes in, throws down his work. This is nice counter utility. This is great work. It allows these individuals to shine like they are. Relics just being that safe pair of hands. Big game changer here. Going to put Cloud9 on 12, which is map point. 1-1 would be the scoreline if this does go Cloud9's way. Of course, it's a best of 5, though. This goes all the way through.
And you got to question what everyone in the chat who is spamming 13-11 is thinking. You got your 12th round, Cloud9. I think they end it here, Warren. Do they?
We're going to find out. It's an all-in piece. 10.
Was that a collat to start? I'll take
it. It's the double. It's a straight-up double, and you've taken out some of your big hitters straight away. There's no better way to do it, and no better man to be at the helm of it. 10s can fall away going, I've done my work this round. The rest of you can pick up the pieces. I'm good. And what heartbreak for the Sentinels. That is the least ideal beginning. They've got to try and work something out here. And 10s, well, he's going to be feeling it now. A little jump peek, able to re-peek on the angle. Show, hey, Shazam, this is how you re-peek an angle, maybe. But we still see this commitment towards A here, Puckett.
Yeah, Dapper making some noise in the cages. 10s, of course, on the other side. And that res, of course, was used in the previous round, so they are nowhere near bringing back the numbers. This is fully a 3 versus 5 with 50 seconds and a 10s in your face. He's going to find his third. Get the 8s, 10s. I'm ready for another highlight clip. Let's put this game away and move forward. Now, the ultimate is still available for Zops. That's the only thing that I can see in their favor, and I'm just going to shut up and watch 10s for a little bit.
Let's watch 10s in his natural environment here, prowling and destroying Sentinels one by one. Unfazed by anyone. I don't know what Zoms does, man. What can you do in these buckets?
Okay. All right, they're giving them the opportunity for the ace, and there it is. 10s and Cloud9 will tie up this series 1-1 after a fantastic attacking half. They hold it down on defense and tie this one up.
The series is good, Puckett. It's going to be so damn good. Okay, so in now we have to look at the next map being Bind. This will change things up. But in recap, I think if anyone's watched previous tournaments, previous games, Haven was always a stronghold specifically for 10s, but also as a collective for Cloud9. It's been an excellent approach for them. It's been a great map to kind of personify and amplify the way they like to approach the game, specifically on their